Just so you know, I have no business making this video on how to install a storm door. I've only done one in my life before, and it was not the same kind, so let's do it anyway. So welcome back to the channel. I am Caleb Ray, and you are watching Measure Once, Cut Twice, and we're going to be taking down and reinstalling a storm door along with the brick mold around it. So this is the full install. Everything you can possibly do with a storm door, we're going to do it today, and hopefully you will learn a lot, and I will learn a lot too. First thing we're going to do is get the new door out of the way because it weighs about 900 pounds. Actually, the weight doesn't really affect why I'm moving it, and that was dumb. Hopefully there's nothing attaching this to this. There shouldn't be, but something I found out watching videos about storm doors is there's not a standard storm door. They're all different. Should actually start at the bottom. That was a much smarter idea. There should be just this one screw holding it in now. I wouldn't be surprised if it's stuck. Yeah, it's not moving. Piston's still on there too. I'm forgetting all kinds of things, right? Perfectly legit way to do that. There we go. I think it was just stuck to the paint. Nah, it's loose. Not a standard door, but pretty standard in the installation, so it should be the same process for you no matter what door it really looks like. Now that all the old hardware is removed, we're going to start removing the actual brick mold itself, which you shouldn't have to do, but this one is rotten on the right side. This side's starting to rot, and the paint's, it's eating away. It's bad, it's ugly. One needs a hatchet. Not recommended, but it works, so whatever. Actually, never done that before, but it works. Like I said, you shouldn't have to do this. Your trim should be fine because it's probably on a front porch. Hopefully. Here we're on the back, it's outside of the house. It just gets destroyed by the sun. All the old trim is removed. Now the old door is out, so we pulled out all the nails, gotten rid of most of the caulk, enough of it that it'll fit pretty flat, and then when we caulk over it, it'll look nice and clean again. So now we're going to cut the brick mold. We're going to cut it a little bit long because it's really, really difficult to get right. So just cut a little bit long and then trim it down, and it'll be much easier to get it right. Cut it 7 feet. Too short by a tiny bit. That's good. Okay. Slight difference in sides. I should have checked both sides before I did that. That was a good lesson. But anyway, cut a 45 on that, and no one will ever notice. Okay, 1/4 inch there, so it's probably going to be at least a 1/4 inch. We're going to start putting the brick mold on. I thought I had the right nails. I did not. They were bright finished. They were not galvanized, so this packaging is so weird. Apparently they don't sell 3-inch galvanized finish nails, so you have to get 3.5-inch ones, and that's a big old nail. A little bit of oil on it. Okay, make it go in easier. Brick mold's in, it looks crummy, but whatever. Now we're going to caulk it, and then we're going to put the door on. We definitely have problems with bugs coming in, so we're going to actually just squeeze caulk all through the bottom here. Fill that gap up on the bottom. On the top or top to bottom? You tell me. Let's go both. And up we go. Perfect. Into the corner. We're going, and the brick. How does it look if I do this? That's not bad. Okay. Sometimes if you touch it, it looks worse. In that corner. Now it's more aesthetically pleasing and it's better sealed. A couple temporary screws in here. So we're going to cut off the bottom of this one and the bottom of the other one. And we're going to cut them the shorter length, so it's 80 3/4. We're going to cut them the same length, just to make things easier. Keep it square, because they should be square. Well, it really needs to line up right with the handle, so I don't want it to line up with the top, per se. Maybe I should put the door in, hinge side, and then get the top nice and even with that, and then cut the other one to fit that. That's a better idea. Some of you might recognize this deck, which I built in August, I believe. It was a good video. You should go watch it if you haven't seen it. Okay, cut off about 1/8 of an inch for the hinge side. Just some caulk on my way, so yes, we fit. Yeah, I'm going to take off about another 1/2 inch, and I'll show you why I can and why I'm doing it in just a second. Just because of the style of hinges here, I think it's going to be best that I put the track on and then put the door on. Don't know, but I think so. I have no idea what screws to use. See that gap at the top? I need to lower the door because I didn't think my threshold's going to hit the threshold, so lower it down a little bit, and that's fine because my screws are still going to hit on top, and this piece on top basically just floats there anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Put a screw in. These are 5/16 bolt heads on giant hinges. There's only 2 of them because they're so big they can do that. Normally there's 3 or 4. They just went massive with these ones. Can't see it, but there's a hole right there, about lined up with that hole on top of that hinge. It's supposed to be lined up with this hole, so that's good. Let's just see if we can do it, you know? It's twisted. This is a little bit interesting. This is just solid flat door. It's not a like I-track or H-track. So you can't put screws. This is the same way on the backside too. So you cannot put screws on the inside of the trim to tighten it up. I guess it looks better, and that's what this whole door is about. So it's gonna be a lot harder to make this thing right. Okay, I got it in. I didn't film. This is so not standard that you didn't really miss anything. This part's pretty simple. And then we're gonna line it up. I mean, this is the easiest door you're ever going to install. It's gonna look good pretty much no matter what you do, so. Last screw, and then we'll install this side. First, we'll double check to make sure the lock is going to hit it, whatever lock we put in. You see that? That's nice and ugly, isn't it? The reason that's happening is because a piece of trim is in here like this, so there's the fuzz sitting here just like that. That's what this piece looks like. And there's no screws that go in this part, and you can't put screws in there, so you can't tighten it up to cinch it over to get it nice and flat. So it's just gonna sit crooked like that, and there's no way to really stop it. So it's gonna look like that. All right, I got the bottom cut to the length I want, so the locks line up nice here. Just gonna scribe it on there. Little gap's fine. Will fit. It fits beautifully. And this is gonna pull up just like that. Pretty. So the next thing we're gonna do is put the piston on for the self-closing. This one actually did come with instructions, so I'm gonna read these. You can read your own. I guess it doesn't matter how new or how nice the door is because these two pieces are absolutely identical. Roughly the right spot. It worked last time, so I think I'm gonna put it in the same spot. The only problem is the jamb is cracked. The screws are long enough, it doesn't really matter too much. Mark the spot for one of the screws for the cylinder. Now we're gonna put the threshold on, and we're gonna put it as low as we possibly can. Let's see what it looks like. I think it's actually done. As far as I can go right now. Cool. Okay, that took me about 3 hours to do, and I've never done a door like this before, and this is slightly more complicated than a normal door because I also had to do the brick mold, had to do the new caulking, had to figure out how to do it because of no instructions. So if I did it in 3, you could probably do it in 2 or less. That's pretty simple. I'm actually pretty happy with how it came out. Everything looks really even. It looks better than the door did before by a long shot because that one was 30 years old, so needs to be replaced. I didn't film it, but I did use it. There's a little tiny adjustment screw on the end of these pistons right here. If a door is closing too quickly, then you just loosen it, that screw up a little bit, and it'll go a little bit looser. And this one closes really nice now. I really like that. So that screw's super simple. Just fiddle around with it and make sure it works right, and everything's nice and smooth. Doesn't take very many turns. Just do like a quarter turn, test it, and see if it works. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next one.